To open up today, we have a little video from our time away. I still have to get videos from y'all in Yucatan, or photos from y'all in Yucatan, which, by the way, Camille, you and Kate took the exact same photo with your dad a year apart, with you in like a little lion costume. It's like the exact same photo. I saw that and I was like, they're twinning. So, a few weeks we'll try to do the Mexico one when I get the photos up, but today we have the one for our trip to Western North Carolina.
Hey, let me tell y'all something.
Oh, I was raised with Goliath, trained with the lions. Fear couldn't break these bones. Oh, I'm never lacked in passion, born to see the action, freedom flowing in my soul. Stepping up to destiny and changing it, and just to play with it, I'm rearranging it. Been dreaming of the glory, now I'm chasing it. I'm almost tasting it, I ran away with it. So rev it up now, baby. I'm about to light this place up. Turn it up now, darling, 'cause I'm about to go up. Feel your heartbeat, baby. Let your fire burn. And they can call us crazy, but they're about to learn. Oh, rev it up, rev it up. Hey, hey. So rev it up now, so rev it up now.
I grew up as a misfit, always ran on pure grit. Sorry if I break your molds. Now I've never been stronger, fueled by desire. Baby, I was born to be bold. I'm stepping up to destiny and changing it, just to play with it. I'm rearranging it. Been dreaming of the glory, now I'm chasing it, almost tasting it. I ran away with it.
So rev it up now, baby. I'm about to light this place up. Turn it up now, darling, 'cause I'm about to go up. Feel your heartbeat, baby. Let your fire burn. They can call us crazy, but they're about to learn. Rev it up, rev it up. So rev it up now, so rev it up now. Played a dangerous game, but I pushed through my pain. Took some knocks on the way, but my drive's still the same. 'Cause the cream of the crop's gonna rise to the top. Give 'em all that I got, and I ain't gonna stop. So rev it up now, baby. I'm about to light this place up. Turn it up now, darling, 'cause I'm about to go up. Feel your heartbeat, baby. Let your fire burn. And they can call us crazy, but they're about to learn now. You said on your mind. I can't help to feel so much lately. When we look to the sky, there will be no wise, just His glory on display. That's why we hold the line, weeping will only endure the night. We got hope, yes we know the sun He rose. So we bear the scars with pride, we never die.
My eyes just swell, no light without night, no might without strife, no love without loss, no Christ without. So I'm singing my song. I can walk down to the place that they marked as a grave, and they said that's where we gon' go. If I had a dime every time they denied that our God would provide, yeah, the dream don't fall. All my life is all I know. Lose it all, but not your hope. Yeah, this is in my soul. I believe now what I will have one day. We will see the sun rays, even in the darkness. We will be singing for the rest of our lives. We are your chosen. We keep fighting today, even if it takes us the rest of our lives.
Alright, so for those of you who know and bore them, we also had body cams on some of y'all and drones. There's over 100 gigabytes of videos I have to sort through, so that's why they wanted the video yet, because I only went through about 10 gigs of stuff that was put online. So there's more coming, but this is just y'all's little sampler, a 6-minute sampler, which is a crazy video length anyways. So be prepared. I'll post more on social media in the coming weeks. I'll just drop little nuggets here and there. But today, again, it's reflecting on our time while we're on missions. So if you went to either of the Yucatan trips to Western North Carolina, today is your day to talk about what you saw, what you did, what you experienced, how you grew closer to each other, how you grew closer to God, where you saw God. Today is about y'all, and this is open to students and adults. There's no limit, except for 12:15 is the limit. So I'm excited to hear what y'all have, and the floor is yours.
I don't know what to say. This isn't fair. I will say that I saw God work in a lot of all of y'all this week. I heard some very powerful testimonies and some very heart-wrenching stories, and how people from the flood, I didn't get to meet anyone who was impacted directly by the flood, but I have heard stories about the people who did, and how they were persevering. They were not just like being patient and enduring, but they were actually joyful despite the fact that they had lost everything. And I also saw how everyone grew closer to God in the week. Like my sister over there, she's right over there, everyone look at her. She came to accept Jesus this week. And yeah, that's all I've got.
Hi.
There's more than one mic up there if you need it. I don't understand what you said.
It's fine. I'm Maddie. This week was definitely challenging from a social standpoint. Me and Callie were in a crew together with a squad leader that was just not the best person to be around at all. And just, it was a blessing in disguise to be together in this situation, because I don't know what I would have done without her. Eden actually kept a crashed out count of how many times we crashed out and just were so done over the week. and I think consecutively we had at least 45. 60 something. Oh,
So Maddie ended the week with 18. Excuse my voice, I lost my voice to speak. And Callie ended the week with 31.
So yeah, there was a lot of just stressors and anxiety and just everything over the course of the week. But I was able, because of this, to have some really good conversations with Callie, her dad, Jonathan, Connor, I don't know if he's in here. And I just feel like it helped me kind of build relationships with a lot of people because I was able to talk. Oh, and Ben. Okay, yeah. It just, I feel like I was able to build a lot of good relationships with people because of the challenges that we experienced. And I was really able to have these good, powerful, where I saw God in my day kind of conversations. So I don't know, it was just a bunch of blessings in disguise.
Oh yeah, that's my name's Eden. Please bear with me. I lost my voice on Wednesday and it's slowly coming back. Yeah, it's a food week, it's bad. This week was a completely new experience for me. I had done multiple mission trips before, but I have never done a construction one. I've always gone to Mexico. And I'm really glad that I did go this year because it was such an incredible experience for me. It was challenging in ways I didn't expect, but honestly through those I got to see God. Thankfully I did have a wonderful crew. Addie can attest to that, wherever Addie is. We had a great crew, so the Lord really blessed me in that area. But it was hard because I came to this meeting, I was like, okay, hopefully I'll be on a crew with my crew girls and stuff is really good, or at least for my family and stuff, because if you don't know, I'm moving out in 2 weeks for college, so I'm like, okay, so we're really gonna build these bonds, and thank the Lord Addie was on my squad, or my crash out count would have been a lot higher. It was already really high, guys, we don't need to mention that. But it was just interesting for me to just see, get to grow and meet new people in that, whereas in Mexico, I didn't meet as many people as I did because, I met all the kids, obviously, but more adults that were my age and just talking and hearing about their walks and faith was a really cool experience for me just to get to be there. The 5 a.m. wake up was not as fun, I will say. Mexico did a better job of waking up because I'm not a morning person. But other than that, I'm just so thankful for all the experiences because even just not even outside of our church, but I got even closer with my girls here, my girls over there. Even though it was Ben and Matthew and Kaden, people that I haven't really gotten to talk to a lot. But just getting to be closer with everybody in our church and with my family as well, as we were all serving the Lord, was just such an incredible experience that it was worth more than anything else I could imagine.
Well, I'm Callie, and I would like to talk about the good parts of the week. Because while we were on that crew, it did suck. But having Connor there was amazing, and the work was honestly really good too. But I think that the highlight of the week was getting to know so many people, honestly outside of the church too. But I feel like I've come out of the trip with so many strong friendships that I didn't think I would have before, which is really amazing. And I also think that a big part of it was the worship, because I don't know why our church was the only one too, but we would always go up to the front when the worship started and just worship the Lord with everything we had. And Cry Night also did solidify that. But yeah, I think that was definitely the highlight. And I'm very thankful once again for Maddie being on our crew, because I probably would have just jumped if you were not there. And yeah, I'm very thankful for all of you guys. So I think that's it.
Hey, so I came up here not really knowing what to talk about because a lot has happened this week and it's just all amazing. Definitely we've grown so much closer to everyone in my crew, everyone apart from everything. It's been amazing. I think Cry Night was the most special for me because obviously it's Cry Night. But I got to pray over the girls who were close to me and everyone I just met. It was amazing. But also when I just went to sit in the corner, just to be alone and to pray over everyone in the room. Out of nowhere, 4 or 5 girls that I've never met before just came over and they asked my name. and they just started praying over me. And I was spending that night fully about like praying over others and not really being introspective at all. But it was really amazing, and it encouraged me to like actually like listen to what God was saying to me. And I have a notes app full of like, let me open 1 second. I've got like a whole page of like direct quotes that I heard from God that were just sitting there, and it was absolutely amazing. And it was like a clear voice, which is so awesome to hear. I think most notably that I wanted to share, I think I talked about it in the thing, but I've been depressed for a long time, and I think I had like given up fighting it, and I didn't realize I had, but I definitely did. And I heard God talking about how depression isn't something that I'm supposed to be dealing with. It's something that I'm going to be defeating, and it's not just because I kind of accepted, yeah, I'm a depressed person, feeling like life isn't worth it. It's just going to be like that's the normal feeling. I'll just move on with that. But it wasn't, and also he used alliteration, and I'm like all over that. Like it's so, I cannot express to you how obsessed I am with words, but he used a very like wording that was very up my alley. And so I just wanted to share that with other people because I don't know if it's been phrased so clearly before, but I'm not supposed to be dealing with that. I'm supposed to be defeating that, and I've got a ton of other quotes and stuff. So if you want to hear them, I will. But that was the most important time of this week, I think.
See if I can make it through this without crying. As many of y'all saw, I shed a lot of tears, even cried last night telling my wife a couple of the stories. For those that weren't there, let me just give you a real quick preview of what your peers and your children went through this week. Wake up was around 5 to 5:30 in the morning. Breakfast was at 6. We were rolling out for our job sites by 7 a.m. They're on their job sites from 7 till somewhere between 3 and 5. I heard one group got back at maybe 5:45 or 6 o'clock one night, right? And these job sites, they're construction. We're mudding things out, we're building decks, we're painting dorms, we're building kitchen cabinets, like all sorts of projects. So it's no shortage of physical labor all day long. And then we come back and you get maybe an hour to take a shower, right? Get ready, and yes, you gotta stand in lines for the showers that are not as hot as you're used to at home, right? You're wearing flip-flops to get into said showers, right? It's a hard day. And then we go to dinner. And then the best part of the day comes when you get church. We had church every night except for Wednesday night when we had off, right? And so then these students would be in there worshiping, and like Callie said, just worshiping with all their heart, all their desire. And who cared what we looked like? Who cared if our hands were in the air, if we were jumping up and down, if we were kneeling at the altar? It didn't matter. Why? Because we love the Lord. And it was such a blessing as an adult, as a leader, to be able to watch that process happen. And to watch how hard you all worked, how much you put into everything we did, despite adversity along the way, as we've already heard from, despite some hard moments between ourselves, between us and God, as God is talking to us, and yet you continue to push through it every single day. And so students that are sitting out there thinking, I'm not sure if I want to do this thing, you need to come do this thing next year. Like, let me just start that pitch right now. Like, get on this trip. Students that went, start hard selling your friends now, right? I've literally already texted some of the other parents of my crew guys that weren't there saying, your son's got to be there next year, right? I was so fortunate to have 7 of my guys. Y'all don't know, by the way, I'm Mr. Josh, for those that don't know you. I'm from Millbrook, right? Trevor invited us Millbrook folks to come up here and hang out today. And so, yeah, we're here. So anyway, I had 7 of my 12 crew guys with me, right? What a blessing that is as a leader. Adults sitting in the room, we're going to need you too. Like, if you're sitting here listening to some of these testimonies right now, thinking, I think I might want to try that next year. Keep following that lead a little bit, see what God's asking you to do. We had an incredible set of leaders this year with a bunch of brand new leaders that had, like, literally never set foot in the youth room before. And let alone now they're going to come and spend an entire week with our students. And it was amazing. And so if you're thinking, hey, I might want to try that next year, come talk to any of us that were on that trip. We would love to just share our experience with you, because being with these students not only is it life-changing for them to go on a trip like this, it's life-changing for us to be able to watch God move through all of them in the ways that he did. These students heard me share on the last night, but I want those that weren't in that room to hear this too. God matured every one of these students this week, and it was so amazing to watch the level of maturity just rise throughout the week as people were accepting Christ or rededicating their lives. We had multiple people in that category. Watching God work with these students, as we had some say, I want to get baptized when we get back. Right? We had multiple students in that category. Watching students take peer leadership roles over the younger students in our group. Watching some students just say, you know what, I'm going to step up and work harder than I've ever worked in my life. All of that was just maturity, and just watching you all set a new bar for what students are capable of, what you're able to do, and how much you want to do it was incredible. So thank you from me, just letting me be a part of that process with y'all. Thank you for letting God work through you. Don't stop now. Keep going. Absolutely keep going. Thank y'all.
Okay, so a lot of you know me. I'm Patty. If you don't, I probably got to meet you this week because you were the younger crowd or you were Millbrook, and I've been at school all year. So I went on the Baltimore trip last year as a student, and I came on this trip this year as a leader. And I wasn't really sure what it was going to look like, especially since a lot of you guys are still my friends. And I was like, how much can I really lead you if you're already my friend? So I was hoping for a squad with some of the younger girls or some of the people that I didn't know as well, and I got Eden. And I was like, how am I going to lead Eden? Eden's my friend. But a lot of that leadership came in the fans, because I didn't know any of the girls that I rode there or back with originally. And in the room, I was sleeping around people that I've never seen before in my life. But now I got really, really close with them, and I got to hear from them, and I got to see from them, and I got to learn how to lead from them. Because in the church world here, as a student, I was never really a church leader. I mean, I was a worship leader, but that was kind of it. I never really did helping with crews or small groups or anything. So going into this week was very, very different for me. And I was very worried about what that was going to look like. But I think a lot of the girls I learned as much from them as maybe hopefully they learned from me. And it was really, really great. Plus I had like Ian and Xander and everybody, they were helping me out a lot this week, just emotionally being there for me, because physically the labor this week was much less than last year. Eden will attest to that. Our labor was not that difficult. We were painting some of the time. But the emotional labor this week for me was what was really the difficult part, which I was not expecting. Because if you know me, you know I will talk about emotions, and I will talk about your feelings, and I will be like, come cry on my shoulder, tell me everything that's wrong, and I will never tell a soul. Yes, and I was also the aloe queen on Thursday night because everyone got burnt, but whatever. So I wasn't prepared for the emotional labor and the emotional work that God was trying to do in me this week. And when I became aware of that somewhere around Wednesday-ish, especially Thursday night, I was really happy to have my fellow college leader over there with me all week to help me out with that. And it was really, really, it was different. It was a different experience than I was hoping for, because I wasn't doing all the physical labor, but I was experiencing a lot of emotional labor and a lot of spiritual labor, trying to figure out how to lead you guys well and to interact with you guys, because I saw you guys doing so much good work, and I saw God moving in you, each of you, so much, especially Thursday night. I didn't know what to do, because I was like, God's got all of you at the moment. I don't know what I can do right now, because all of you have the image of God just so clearly plastered on you, and it was really beautiful to see.
been in the people around me. If you know me, I'm not a social butterfly. Don't like people that much. You know, I have a tendency to insulate with like 4 or 5 people that I know and like. But this week, I kind of had the opportunity to not do that. Came into this week with, you know, I had a couple friends going on the trip. You know, Blake, Xander, Ian, knew all of them from crew. Knew Judah, knew Ethan a little bit. But unlike last year, I took the chance to like actually try to get to know people. I was in a room with a bunch of guys that were younger than me, which was risky, to put it lightly, because I did not know if I was going to get any sleep. But it turned out that I got the opportunity to get to know Ethan and Titus and Gray and Cameron, even though I don't see him here. Got to know them a lot better, and just got to be like, to see the growth in them throughout the week. I mean, getting to pray over them like on Thursday night during Cry Night was amazing. Getting to see them, you know, come before God and just give them everything was amazing. And then in addition to that, on past mission trips, I have never gotten close with anybody on my work site. Kind of, you know, go, make the shingles happen, leave. Like, y'all can do your thing, never see you. Bye. But this year, I actually got close with the people on my work site, partially because we did not have as much to do waiting on materials to arrive. And partially just because I was forced to, because everybody else was very talkative. And it kind of forced me out of my shell a little bit. And now, like, I fully expect to continue to talk to the people that I would have never met before. Even people that go here, like Bella and Hannah, probably never would have gotten close with them, never would have really been friends, but got to know both of them this week, and I'll continue to talk to them, see them around church. And even with the people like from other parts of the country that I may never see again, but that I actually formed like genuine relationships with, instead of coming into it as I'll probably never see you again. I don't really care about you. I think that's just something good that we can all like take into our everyday lives, to just focus a little more on community, because seeing other people grow closer to God is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to grow closer to God yourself, and to learn how to lead others, to learn how to have those kinds of conversations. I mean, just the conversation we would have every night in our room, even though I was asleep for half of it, were really good for me, because I got to learn how to answer questions that I probably never would have thought to ask myself. Yeah, it's just pretty big focus on community this week.
I want to come up and just say that God has worked a lot in this week, and in so many different ways. I feel like He worked in me a lot through the worship, and the way that He was using the songs that I had heard before to guide me back to memories of His faithfulness and things of that nature. He told me to fully surrender to Him and gave me a peace I never had. And I feel like that's powerful, and it's happened in all kinds of different people. He also worked a lot in the work sites, being able to provide for these people whose horrible stories, I'm sure all of us have heard at least one, of what have happened during Hurricane Helene. And God was able to move and use us as a tool to help those people recover and build a new life. And so I feel like that's just really powerful. And there's so many other just insane stories of things that might seem like coincidences to some, but when put all together were clearly ways God had worked. I feel like one of the biggest of these was when Allie came to Jesus, and I can tell that story, but I don't think that's fair. So I would like to invite at least Zoe, and preferably Allie too, to come tell that. All right, at least Zoe.
No, she doesn't have to. So I'm here to tell the story about me and Allie. Do not look at her, she does not like attention. So for those of y'all who don't know me, I'm Zoe, I go to Millbrook campus. Yeah. So this story is going to start about a month and a half ago. So I was feeling like I didn't really have a purpose outside of my family and very closest friends. So my brothers, parents, and like 4 or 5 people. Yes, you. And so I started praying like, God, use me. Because I wanted to feel like I had done something with my faith. And so then, like, fast forward probably 2 weeks, I had my first successful overnight camp because I've had a lot of sleep anxiety, so it was really hard for me to, like, stay away from home. And so that's when I decided I'm going to go on this trip, you know, because I figured out I could do it. And then, like, 2 weeks before the trip, Allie wasn't even planning to go on the trip because she hadn't raised the money. But she talked to Trevor, I'm not sure exactly how the story went, and Trevor was like, you're going, okay? And so that's like the first crazy part of this story. Like, neither of us were planning to come before a few weeks before the trip. And then we got to the, like, on Saturday we got there, and both my parents were like, hey, watch out for Allie. And I was kind of like, ugh. I came on this trip just kind of wanting to hang out with Gloria and my squad if I had to, you know, and maybe Tina and Allie a little bit, you know. So like Sunday, Monday, it was kind of just me and Gloria chilling. But then by like Tuesday, Wednesday, I sat with Allie a few times at meals and Tina, and we kind of became like the force of we saw us together there. On Wednesday, we really started talking a lot, and like that's when all 4 of us really became close friends. But then on Thursday, we were walking out of the door of our hallway because we were like down a hallway into our room where we slept. And we were walking out of a hallway to go to dinner, just me and Allie, because Tina and Gloria had already went. And so I was like, hey, Allie, I've never asked you this before. Have you been saved? And she was like, I don't really know. So that kind of like, it started the thoughts in my brain. So then we went to dinner, we talked just about normal stuff, you know. Anyway, and then we went to Cry Night, which for those of y'all who don't know what that is, that's like when they play all the slow worship songs and everybody cries. And they're like, go up there and cry, we don't care, we want you to cry. And so, like, God really put her on my heart. She was the only person I could think about. I come into the night being like, I want to have one of those moments where I'm on my knees crying and I can't stand up. And so that's exactly what happened. And she was the only person or thing I could think about. And so then after that happened, we stood up and like, you know, we did this little thing where you write down something. And so then they invited us to like go into groups of 3 to 5 and share our prayer requests. So it was the 4 of us and Holden, because he apparently hadn't found a group. And so Tina shared hers, Gloria shared hers, and I was like, okay, nobody's talking. So it's just like, Allie, to be honest, you were the only person I could pray for, think about. I got Allie Thetford to cry, guys, okay? That's an accomplishment for if you don't know her. And so, like, she just sat in her chair for the next 3 songs and stuff. And so, she was crying. So I went outside and I got her some picked out from bathroom because it's really close. Anyway, and so then I brought her outside and I talked to her for a while, just like about stuff, you know, God stuff, cool stuff. Like, guys, I'm losing it up here. So then after Cry Night, she wanted to help with Josh. So we went and we sat on like the couch and we just kind of talked about it. Josh was kind of like, now, you can make this decision, you can wait. It's like your choice. Don't do it if you don't want to. So like we went to bed that night. Everything was still pretty normal. Right? Got up the next excited, finished up the day because it was our last day. Yeah. And then we got back, and at dinner I was like, "Do you have any questions for me?" And she asked me one question. What was it? What's the question? I don't remember. Do you remember? Okay, she doesn't remember. Well, she asked me a question. It was actually it was a very, very question you asked. I don't remember once again what it was, but yeah. And so then I was like, "Okay, do you have any others?" She was like, and so I was like, "Okay, well then I'm gonna ask you some questions." So we went and we sat down, and I was like, I think that the closing celebration had already started, so we were kind of skipping out on that, but I was like, "This is more important. We're gonna talk about this right now." And so we went outside, and I was like, "What do you think it means to be saved?" And she was like, and so then I was like, "What do you think it means to have eternal life?" She gave me the right answer. She was like, "It means to spend eternity in heaven with God." And so I asked her another question, I don't remember what that was. It was kind of everywhere at this point. But she gave the exact right answer to that question too. And I was like, "Okay, do you want those things?" And she nodded, but she was like, "We should probably go back into the auditorium thingy." And so we did. But then a minute later, I was like, "Okay, no, this is more important. I'm going to go outside and be like, moving." And so she was like, I want to do it. And so we were sitting on the couch, like right outside of the auditorium. It was a really amazing couch. And so I was like, "Okay, here's this is what you have to do. You can say it out loud, you can do it in your head." I could tell she was feeling kind of uncomfortable with me sitting there while she did it. So I was like, "Okay, let's go back in. I'll let you be alone. You can do it by yourself." So she was sitting in the back corner by herself. And so I went up to her a minute later. I was like, "Did you do it?" She was like, "Yes." And so I told Josh, and then we finished worship. But she was sitting behind us for the whole week. But then on Friday night, she went up and stood in the front with us for worship. And I mean, that's basically the story. She went outside after and called her mom. So I mean, it's crazy. Neither of us were even planning to go on a trip, and God worked through it all and brought her to it.
For those of you who do not know me, I'm Holden. I'm from the Millbrook campus. However, I came here for the recap thing that we're doing right now. And my biggest moment where I saw God was the concert of worship or Cry Night. I saw not only people worshiping God slowly with intention and through each other, but I saw people full on their hands and knees in front of the stage, groups of 5 to 10, and I saw some groups up to 15 people just sitting, crying for minutes on end, praying for each other, just in community with each other. It was mainly Crossroads, but it was other churches too that kind of jumped in on it, a select few. But yeah, that was probably the most powerful I saw God moment of the whole mission trip. So yeah.
So before this mission trip, I wasn't that close with God. I may have prayed a few times a day, read my Bible a few times a week. I was like very inconsistent and just not very close with him. So right before the mission trip, I just decided I'm just going to spend this whole week and try to just get as close to God as I possibly can and just strengthen my relationship with him. So by the time I got back, I would just start spending more time with him. And during all that, Satan, he definitely tried to, when I say tried, he did attack me countless times. Throughout the trip, I had dozens of anxiety attacks, panic attacks. Like, every time I would just try to grow close to God, he would just do everything he possibly could to just stop me from doing it. And it got to the point where, like, Tuesday-ish, Wednesday, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. And I was just about to give up, but then Thursday night came, and just being able to, like, pray with all these 4 people, and Connor, and I prayed with Josh, I think, and Trevor too, and just like their support, just like being able to like lift me to like actually being close to God. And I'm just thankful for them and everybody else that went on the trip.
I'll start off here. So I'm not like, I don't like to talk a whole lot to people I don't know, but when I like get to know people, I will like, yeah. And so for each of your like work squads, you have certain jobs, and so there's like the water people, the other people. Anyway, I was the right master, sorry. And so I was the chaplain, which is like you're supposed to do like the devotions and stuff. And so when I got the job Sunday or whatever, I like didn't really want to do it. It's like I didn't know anyone. Ian was in my group, and that was about it. But Monday afternoon after lunch, we went and had our first devotion and like asking the questions. And like no one would say anything. They would just like stare at you, like stare, like you're going crazy. And so like throughout the day, I was working with like we had a set of twins in our group, so I was working with them. We were cutting radiators and painting. And so I just would talk to them throughout the day, and I got to know them pretty well. And so the next day came, and like they volunteered for like almost all the questions. They wanted to pray, and so like getting to talk to them, and then like some of our leaders, they were one was from Ukraine, and he moved here like 3 years ago, and like he was just super smart sometimes, but like he was a really nice guy to talk to. And I met a guy from the UK, and he was just one of the funniest guys I've met. And then like that was kind of my job site. And then when we got back, like the first couple days, I hung out with them, and that's like pretty much how the past mission trips went. I didn't really go out of my comfort zone to talk to new people, but like we started playing cards with the massive 1 and 2, even other people, and like getting to know them. We rode in the van right back, and it was a really fun time with the van as well. But just getting to meet new people is fun.
So I think Ben summed it up pretty well. We usually just hang out with each other on these trips. You know, try and meet new people, talk to new people, and just interact with others. This year we did a lot more than in the past. And I got to interact with, I pretty much only got to know new people from Crossroads. I didn't really meet any new people from other churches, but the people I met, not met, but got to hang out with, were really nice and were people I didn't usually get to hang out with. And, like on the work site, I got to hang out with Logan and Ainsley, wherever they are. I don't know where Logan is. On Wednesday, when we were at dinner, I sat next to Eli. He actually goes to our crew. I got to know him a lot more. And Zach, Zach's over there, I see him. Got to sit next to him at dinner one day. I also really enjoyed listening to Jonathan Lotz preach about Matthew 6 in particular. I thought it was really, really good. The stories he told were, wow. You know, it's that's it. That's it.
Alright, so our group was working in a trailer park all week on flooring, and so Thursday we had to wait about an hour and a half for them to deliver our stuff so we could finish. And during this time, so there was the trailer, and then like pretty much right next door there was another trailer, and they had this kid named Tyson. And he came over like right when we got there at like 7:45, because we had met him like earlier in the week, but we hadn't got to talk to him that much. So while we were waiting for our stuff, we actually got to talk to him a lot. And his parents were divorced, and that was his grandma's trailer. So when the hurricane happened, he was at his dad's house, and during the flooding, his dad couldn't reach him, so him and his sister were stuck at his dad's house for about 2 weeks with no power or service. And he said that when his dad finally got the text after those 2 weeks, he like broke down crying because he didn't know if they were alive or not. So throughout the day, he got to help us after they delivered our stuff. He helped actually put down the carpet and stuff with us, and we got to talk to him more, and at lunch he prayed for our food, and then he came back for devotion eventually. So I was just wondering, like before that, how he was telling these stories, like how he would be so positive, because he just talked about it like it was just an everyday experience, you know. And so like when eventually we found out that he was a follower of Christ, it all like connected and stuff. But yeah, since we weren't really able to talk to our homeowners, they weren't there that much. They didn't really want to talk to us, and you could tell like from some of the things in their house that they weren't followers of Christ. So it was good that we got to connect with Tyson, and then also this kid. Similar to what James was saying, like I've never connected with the people in my group that I didn't know, but this year there was a kid named Beckett, and he helped out a lot, so I got to grow a relationship with him.
So yeah, like they said, we normally just all like work together and stuff. But this year I did painting, and we were in this huge college dorm. So I just went around the rooms helping everybody. So I found myself like meeting a lot more people than I did in the past on my job site.
For those who don't know me, I'm Titus. I was the dude doing the goofy dance in the video. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see God a whole lot in the actual serving, but where I definitely did see him was in the sermons and in the worship. Especially crying. Now, if I start crying, it's because I finally learned how to cry at Cry Night. And so I did a couple of things, and God worked through me in a couple of ways that I didn't know could be done, and I'm going to share this with you. So for some slight context, a few years ago, my parents got a divorce, And ultimately, realizing this now, that was my structure, was my family. And there was no structure in God. I went to church regularly, and I read my Bible, not very often, but I picked it up every once in a while. There was your average kind of Christian behaviors, but I realized my faith wasn't rooted in God. It was rooted in the structure of my family. And when that ultimately collapsed, I had nowhere to go. So I turned to habits, places where I shouldn't have. I didn't find God in them. And I seek things that I regret seeking. And I slowly drifted away from God. One of those reasons was that I resented my mother for the divorce. And one of the things I was able to do while I was at Mission Serve was forgive my mother for the divorce. And that was hard. I hated her for years for it, and I didn't think I had the strength to do it. But when the pastor got up there and said, "I want you to write down people who you need to forgive," I broke down. I mean, I've never cried harder in my life, and I got up there on these probably 2-inch wide by an inch tall little paper tabs, and I just started writing down names after names after name. I probably filled out 5 of those things of people who I needed to forgive, and my mom was one of them. And I surrendered a lot to God, and I didn't know I could, and I'm incredibly happy for that, because I've been holding on to a lot. I've been struggling with depression and anxiety for years now, but I was recently diagnosed and I got on medication. And this is the part with the story I might cry. But back in March, I attempted suicide. And the night that I attempted, I felt like God had left me, and totally. And I kind of denied that there was a God at all. I was sitting there in my room questioning my life, and ultimately when I attempted, I failed, and that was God's hand of protection on me. I'm incredibly grateful that that happened and that He was there to protect me. And in the past months, I've been healing from that. And in this past Mission Serve, I cannot deny that I have seen God, and I know that He's true, and I know that He's real.
We have an amazing God. Each of y'all, the week you've had, I'm seeing the change take place within y'all, within each other, within your relationships with God. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Seeing how students are leading each other. Students are leading each other in Christ. The student ministry is your ministry. It doesn't matter how many of us adults are here. This ministry is y'all's. Y'all are the ones bringing your friends, praying with each other, growing as a family. And ultimately, God is there. He is helping y'all go through situations you never expected. Jonathan Lodge talked a lot about self-reflection this week. I've had many conversations with y'all on where you've reflected on where you saw God in the past, where He's protected you, where He's helped you grow. Weeks like this, you're going to be self-reflecting for a while on what God did during this time. Don't just let it pass by. Lean into it. Take what you've learned. Take what God was saying and grow. Don't stay stagnant. Become the men and the women that God wants you to be. I'm proud of you. I love you. So for those of you who weren't there with us this week, towards the end of the week, you probably would notice this group got very hands-on with each other during prayer. What I mean is they would hold each other during the prayers. I felt like I needed to continue on saying that. So to end this service in prayer, I'm going to ask that all of y'all stand up and put your shoulders or arms over each other's shoulders. Everyone in the room, adults, get close. Hopefully put on deodorant today. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this week that we've had, this time of these students coming together, of their growth with each other, of their growth with you, of the salvations, of the rededications, of the baptisms, of the call to ministries. I just thank you for this week and what this week means to the students. I thank you for the students and the adults that was at Yucatan, for the ministry that they helped there, with the locals, helping them to know who God is and helping to share the love of God. Thank you for what you are doing in this ministry. Just allow it to continue to grow, to worship you, and to be more of a family as we continue to love God. We thank you and we praise you. In your holy blessed name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, y'all know. Love y'all. Be good, be safe.